A new NASCAR season is upon us, and that means one thing at this time of the year: prediction time. So, for the third time on this channel, I will be making my 22 predictions for the 2022 NASCAR season. Without further ado, let's get started. So for my first prediction, I'm going to go right into Speedweeks. We're going to talk about the Clash, Daytona, and all that fun stuff. So, what's going to happen at the Clash at the Coliseum? A very hyped up event. First of all, I think the Clash will be a hit, not to mention with it being in a large market like Los Angeles. I think it could potentially be a race we talk about for years to come. With that being said, I predict that Joey Logano will win the Clash at the Coliseum. I think a race like this could favor a more aggressive driver like Logano, and it could be a good fit because there's going to be a lot of aggressive racing going on in terms of the Clash. Jumping now towards Daytona, I predict that William Byron will win the pole award for the Daytona 500. Let's face it, the trend says if it's a Hendrick car, you got a good shot. As for the Truck Series season opener, I predict that for the second time in 3 years, Grant Enfinger will win in his return to GMS Racing. For the Xfinity Series, I think this driver will pick up where he left off in November. Daniel Hemrick will win the Daytona Xfinity season opener. And as for the 2022 Daytona 500, I'm going to go with a little bit of a different pick. I am going to say that Alex Bowman will win the 2022 Daytona 500. Don't worry, guys, I probably jinxed him, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Used to try to take the lead from the 11th. Oh! The 11th round!
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Moving on now to prediction 2. This will be the first time winners across all 3 series. So across all 3 series, these drivers are who I think could get their first wins in 2022 in their respective series. For the Truck Series, I have Carson Hocevar and Derek Kraus getting their first career wins. Carson Hocevar had a really good, consistent season last year, and I think he'll follow that up in 2022. And for Derek Kraus, I think he has a chance to finally get that win and get himself into the playoffs. Moving over to the Xfinity Series, I have 4 drivers who could get their first win, those being Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer, and Landon Castle. Of course, Landon Castle is moving over to Kaulig Racing, and this is going to be a big year for him, and we'll get to see if he has what it takes. I think he does. Moving on to the Cup Series, I think at least one of these 3 drivers will get their first career wins. I have Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, and or Tyler Reddick. I think these 3 drivers have a really good shot at getting their first win in the Cup Series in 2022. Moving on to prediction number 3. I did this last year. This will be basically who wins at all the new tracks or the new races for the season. The Truck Series added Sonoma, Mid-Ohio, and the return of IRP. I predict that Ben Rhodes will win the Sonoma Truck Race, Zane Smith will win the Mid-Ohio Truck Race, and I predict Chandler Smith will win the IRP Truck Race. Moving over to the Xfinity Series, of course, Portland being the newest track on the schedule. It's a road course. You can't go wrong with going with AJ Allmendinger for this one. So I have Allmendinger winning at Portland. And lastly, the inaugural Cup race at Gateway, a track that I've always wanted to see on the Cup Series schedule. I predict that Denny Hamlin will win that race as well. And of course, earlier I did mention that Joey Logano will win the Clash at the Coliseum. Prediction number 4. Who gets the most wins across all 3 series? For the Truck Series, I think John Hunter Nemechek will pick up where he left off. The only thing that he was missing last year was the championship, and he'll be a threat again this year. In the Xfinity Series, I'm going to say there's a toss-up between Ty Gibbs and AJ Allmendinger. I think these 2 guys will be a couple of drivers that are going to be talked about a lot in the Xfinity Series, especially how impressive Ty Gibbs was last year, even just being at the age of 18. So I think those 2 drivers are going to be the most dominant ones to watch. And as for the Cup Series, I'm going to say Kyle Busch gets the most Cup wins. I'm really feeling it for Busch with the new car and everything else. I think he could have a pretty big season in 2022. Prediction number 5. I said this in my previous video, but I'll say it again. Austin Cindric will be the 2022 Rookie of the Year for the Cup Series. He will be competing against Harrison Burton and Todd Gilliland, and Cindric definitely has the best ride from an equipment standpoint. He does have big shoes to fill replacing Brad Keselowski, but I feel like he'll do just fine. Speaking of Brad Keselowski, Prediction number 6 for car number 6. Brad Keselowski will find victory lane in 2022 with his new team. He's still very competitive, and he's helping turn around a team that hasn't seen victory lane a lot in recent years. I do think Brad probably just gets one win, maybe 2, and a ticket to the playoffs. As a side note, I would keep your eyes on Chris Buescher too. He could make some noise. I don't expect RFK Racing to light the world on fire immediately, but I would watch them over the next few years. I think this team will get better with Brad Keselowski. Prediction number 7. So this unfortunately has to do with things kind of out of NASCAR's control. So during the first bit of the season, or at least the Daytona 500, I do anticipate that the racing could be on the more conservative side. I say this after some car owners have reportedly been talking about the shortage of cars during winter testing. Now, I don't think there'll be anything drastic like a team misses a race, but you could see some drivers being very focused of taking care of their equipment more to start off. Now, who knows? These cars are completely different, and these drivers are going to have to adapt to how these cars race compared to the previous Gen 6 car. Hopefully by summertime, we won't have any shortage issues. We can hope anyway. Prediction number 8. Hailie Deegan will perform better in 2022. By that, I think she will put in some more top 10s, and she'll squeeze in a top 5 as well. I don't think she'll find victory lane just yet. I do think she'll probably need another season in the Truck Series after this one, but I think the signs point towards improvement for her this coming season. To put into perspective, she only scored 1 top 10 in 2021. I think she'll get more than that this year. As for prediction number 9, I do believe that once you get your first win, not only are you hungry for more, but more wins will soon follow. And I think that applies to the defending Xfinity champion, Daniel Hemric. Last season, it felt like Hemric was the unluckiest driver ever, as he found so many different ways to lose a race, but when it counted, he finally made it happen, scoring the win at the championship race at Phoenix and scoring the championship as well. He's now off to Kaulig Racing, and this is a team that I think many fans will have their eyes on this coming season, especially they will be competing in the Cup Series full-time this time around for 2022. I think Daniel Hemric is going to pop off and win about 2 to 4 races this coming season. I also believe he will for sure be one of the top championship contenders again in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. For prediction number 10, let's talk about the Truck Series playoffs. The 10 drivers that I have making the Truck Series playoffs are Grant Enfinger, Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen, John Hunter Nemechek, Chandler Smith, Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton, and Derek Kraus. My championship 4 are Ben Rhodes, John Hunter Nemechek, Grant Enfinger, and Chandler Smith. And I predict that the 2022 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion will be John Hunter Nemechek. I think this time around he's going to be hungry to win even more. And if you eliminate it, heck, in 2021, if you eliminate the issue he had early on, he probably could have been the champion. So this time around, I think John Hunter redeems himself and he takes home the crown at Phoenix in November. Now, as a side note, I did type this all out before everything was confirmed, so I had assumed Christian Eckes was going to drive full-time for ThorSport, and I do have Matt DiBenedetto as an outside driver looking in. I don't know what kind of equipment he's going to have. I think he has probably equipment that could make him finish 10th to 15th in points. We're going to have to wait and see. So for prediction number 11, I know I discussed this in a video recently, but thinking about it more and more, I think Kevin Harvick will find victory lane sometime in 2022. I only see him picking up a win, maybe 2. Again, I know I recently made a video discussing that he might be on a potential decline, considering that he also was thinking about retiring at the end of 2021. But I think in 2022, we're going to truly see what's next. I think Harvick, however, will pick up a win and most likely be the lone Stewart-Haas car to make it in the playoffs. Prediction number 12, we're now going to talk about the Xfinity Series playoffs. Here are the 12 drivers that I see making it. Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Landon Castle, Daniel Hemric, AJ Allmendinger, Brandon Jones, Ty Gibbs, Austin Hill, and Riley Herbst. For my championship 4, I have AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, and Daniel Hemric as the championship contenders. And I predict that the 2022 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion will be Ty Gibbs. This one might be a bit more of a what the heck are you talking about kind of pick, but judging by the fact of how he raced last year, I see him picking up where he left off. I think he's going to be a threat for the championship for sure, and again, Ty Gibbs is going to be, 19 years old this season? So keep an eye on him. I think he could win the championship. But I think those 4 drivers that I just mentioned, all of them have a really good shot of winning it this year. Prediction number 13, I'm going to talk about Josh Berry. He was one of the biggest breakout drivers of 2021, and I think he'll follow suit in 2022. I project he will win between 3 and 5 races in the coming season. He ran really well in his races for Junior Motorsports. He got a couple wins, and I think he's going to be someone to watch. He could be another driver that even makes the championship for. We'll have to wait and see. Prediction number 14. So you know that the Knoxville truck race last year got really chaotic. Well, this year I predict that it won't be as chaotic as last year's. The reason I say that is because I think a lot of drivers, especially that are returning, have learned a lot about the track, and now there's more knowledge and data towards the track for teams as well. So we'll see if there's any difference compared to last season's race, because last year's, yeah, you know how bad it got. So for prediction number 15, I'm going to keep this simple. Throughout the entire Cup Series season, so not just the regular season, but all throughout the playoffs as well, I predict we will see 16 or even more different winners. Which leads me to prediction number 16, the Cup Series playoffs. The 16 drivers I have making the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs are Austin Cindric, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Kurt Busch. So yes, I have both 2311 Racing Toyotas making it. I think that's going to be a team to watch for sure. I could see both Kurt and Bubba winning races. Adding a driver like Kurt Busch is going to make that team a lot better. And you know somehow he's going to sneak out that one win that he's been getting lately. As for my championship 4, I have Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Blaney as my championship 4. So who's going to take home the Cup Series championship in November at Phoenix? I predict that the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series champion will once again be Kyle Larson. I don't think he's going to have another crazy 10-win season. He probably gets about 4 or 5 wins, but seeing things in the past, especially when the time that the Car of Tomorrow debuted and when the Gen 6 car debuted, Hendrick Motorsports was always the team that got out in front of everybody else. Not to mention, at the beginning of the COT era, Jimmy Johnson was in the middle of winning 5 straight championships. And of course, Johnson won the 2013 championship when the Gen 6 car debuted. I'm going to follow that trend and say that Kyle Larson will get back-to-back championships. It's going to be tough competition this time around. It's not going to be a crazy 10-win season. So, I probably jinxed him, but we'll see. Prediction number 17. Just like last season, I'm going to once again predict that Chevrolet will win the manufacturer's title again, just like they did in 2021. Prediction number 18. I think William Byron will finally hit that breakout. He got his first Cup win in 2020 and picked up another win at Homestead in 2021. This year, I think he gets more than 1 win. I think he's going to get about 2 or 3 this coming season. I do think Hendrick will be the best team in 2022. Prediction number 19. This is where I'm going to make a 2023 silly season prediction. Huh? And that is with the recent announcement that Eric Almirola will be retiring at the end of the 2022 season. All signs point towards this, but I'm going to say that Ryan Preece will take over the number 10 Ford in 2023. Speaking of Ryan Preece, let's go into prediction number 20. So as you know, he's going to be driving some Cup races for Rick Ware and some Xfinity races for some satellite teams and running truck races for David Gilliland under a contract with Stewart Haas. So with that being said, I do think Ryan Preece will at least get a truck win in his selected starts that he has with DGR. I think this will put him in a situation similar to what we saw with Alex Bowman not that long ago, and this could be a big career turnaround for Ryan Preece, assuming prediction number 19 comes true. Prediction number 21. Man, I'm really running out of prediction ideas. You know what? Let's throw in an ARCA prediction. Why not? So I actually had to take some time to look at who's actually going to be able to compete for the championship, and I'm going to go with Nick Sanchez to win the ARCA Menards title. He and even Roger Carruth, I think, are going to be a couple drivers to watch for 2022. These are a couple guys that I'm pretty confident will be coming up through the ranks in the coming years. And finally, prediction number 22. We have reached the end of the 2022 NASCAR predictions, and this will pertain to the 2023 NASCAR Cup schedule. It has been hinted that we're going to see even more changes on the 2023 schedule. With that being said, I predict that a street course race will be added to the Cup schedule next year. It has been mentioned before that we could see even more changes in the schedule like I mentioned, and with the new hybrid engine on the way, this could mean that NASCAR could take to the streets of a major city soon. I'm sure Chicago is probably a top candidate, but I'm sure there are other places that could be discussed well, like Long Beach, maybe New York's possible, or heck, maybe bring back the old Cleveland Grand Prix would be kind of cool too. So, there you have it. 22 predictions for 2022. And of course, I'll look back on these again in November and see how wrong I was. And of course, look out for my friend Motorsport Fan 17's predictions as well, and I'm sure we'll react to each other's predictions again at the end of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new era of NASCAR. This is going to be a whole new NASCAR like we've never seen before. So many changes taking place. We have a new car. The cars look a little different now for sure, especially with the number placements. But this is definitely one of the most hyped up, anticipating seasons that we've had in recent history. Heck, even more than last year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the 2022 season's going to bring across motorsports, especially in NASCAR. So what do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen in 2022? I would love to see what you think down in the comments below. More videos are on the way. I'm happy to say that Sunday Night Lights is in production again. I just finished the 1989 Cup season, and I am working on 1990 and 1991, and hopefully here soon I will have that video out, as well as 2017 Divided Ending. This stuff does take time. So thank you guys so much for your support as always, and here's to another great NASCAR season. I'm really looking forward to it, as well as more content coming down the road. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Sonic Rules 831, and you know the drill. I'll see you in the next video.